Chair of the meeting, or should I?
You go ahead.
I don't think we have a vice chair, so I don't know. If we,
Oh, I just figured you were it by virtue of seniority.
Well, I could be, but let's call
Please
the
do.
meeting September 11th, Public Utilities Commission to order. Roll call show that George Wilkes is not here. We have first item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Set the agenda, have the minutes from the last meeting, and our payments. Since I wasn't at the last meeting, I don't know. Looks like
The minutes look
they were
fine to me.
short and to the point. Anything of interest in the bills to pay? I see some that I'm not familiar with, but I'm not sure that
Which ones?
the TNR Electric says transformers. The electric department just bought some transformers. Or
Some of
what,
that is for this upcoming project, right? Some of those are transformers.
A couple of them, but then we have another big project that's in the works out by Bent's Road. I
Okay.
believe that's 9. And we had a couple more for Mitchell Everson, new installs, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was more of a upkeep our inventory.
I didn't see anything else out of the ordinary, so
W.W. Getch.
that's equipment. Is that yours, or is that? I think that's
No, Gush is
sewer and water.
engineering for sewer and water, right?
I'm
Capital outlay,
I'm not sure to tell you. the truth.
78,
Yeah, that's for
60.
wastewater.
Yeah.
Water.
Okay.
I don't see anything else in there that. Well, I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Electric report. We have the final AMI meter order. You're gonna give some kind of report on this, or is this?
On the final AMI? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, these, I guess, it's just the rest of the meters that we need to fill
Yep.
out the system, single phase and
I guess it
three
says it on
phase.
there. It's the electric meters. We haven't even started on the waters, so.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That'll-
purchased 130 meters, and then the others are those what-
Load control for off-peak
the
and
specialty pieces.
dual fuel,
Yep.
I
That's the
believe.
second purchase order?
The purchase order for the 24,392.
Right.
That's for load controls. So those are the pieces
Oh, okay.
that do like off-peak and dual fuel and
Okay.
whatnot. And that's so we can kind of get that rolling for the fall and winter here. So we'll actually be able to control those. And then the next page is the significant portion, and that's the rest of our meters, actual meters.
And when is the projected installation? Has there been conversation about when you guys would?
I don't see why we wouldn't have a lot of them done by the year's end.
Uh,
Yeah, once we slow down on this big highway project that we have coming up with all these maps.
yeah.
But,
They've been doing about 100 a month or so, so it's moving
yeah,
along. I
Wow,
have to keep up too, so.
right,
right,
okay.
so we can only do, so I guess the end of the year would be positive.
Will you focus on these ones with these load control meters, because they're the ones, obviously, if they're dual fuel or whatever? or-
Well, we can't unless we're just gonna put up relays just to run one meter.
Okay,
We have to keep the the ball rolling so they all connect to the
Oh,
gateway.
Okay.
Okay, so you have to sync.
So
them all.
we start at one point.
So you
and-
do them
and
geographically?
just- Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
house to house as
Mhm.
their, seems to work best, so.
And this next sheet here, the upcoming electric project cost, that's to do with the highway?
Yes, that is, most of that is, one of the projects is the LEC down to the Border Patrol along the new Gunflint. They're gonna put a walkway in there someday,
Hmm.
I believe soon, a safe walkway to school.
Right, yep.
So we have to take down our overhead lines and put them underground. So that worked out well because we had all these other lines by Napa and Sister's Place and the State Bank, they have to come down, the overhead lines,
Hmm.
before they can do this big box culvert
Okay.
right by Sister's Place.
Mhm.
So we have to get those down. This just will be a part of that project.
So let's deal with the purchase orders first and get that out of the way in case we have any questions, and if you want to explain anything with the maps that we have here on the projects. Any more questions on this, Ann, or?
Well, so the first purchase order is for the people who have dual fuel.
Oh, on the meters?
Yeah, on the
Okay,
meters.
Yep.
And so that's, and then the second purchase order are the meters,
The actual meters themselves.
the actual
Yes.
meters. So there's just an additional cost for dealing with the dual fuel ones.
Yeah, they're like these little receivers all by themselves that
Okay.
actually control like a water heater or a heater or something.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of those places will have 2 meters and an LCR, load control
Mm.
receiver,
Mhm.
that talks to us through the meters and through the RF,
Okay.
radio frequency.
The reason they're separate is just because in hopes of getting the LCRs quicker,
Ah.
they're separate. Yeah.
Okay. So 700, I'm looking at the quantity here on the second purchase order. Will that cover most of the city?
That should be the rest of the
Okay.
electric
That
meters.
is,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think exactly, yeah, we went meter to meter, and
Okay.
that should be a fairly exact number. Might be one or two that'll come up with maybe a new install,
Sure.
you know.
Mhm. Well, we've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah,
Gonna-
yeah, it's gonna be
gonna
nice.
happen.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's, the system is working. We have what, 300?
I think a bit over 300 now, yeah.
Yeah,
At
all
the
the
whole
way
east
from,
side of town. and-
New Gunflint all the way to the Devil's Track River, and they're all coming in, and no more meter reading.
Really
Great.
nice reading every month,
Mhm.
hitting a button.
Excellent.
How many people in that area have tried, have opted out?
I believe just
Just
one,
one.
Roy Steinbrecher, maybe that other guy right on the, ends of 2.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's brought in his, actual form for opting out yet.
We didn't put one in his
Older
house
guy.
though.
Yeah, I know there's a couple that have expressed, interest in opting out. but,
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was one of them out there that,
We have a new little RF meter that you can see like your computer or something, I think like our radio in City Hall
Mhm.
for the county, or, yeah, you put it by there and key the mic and it just,
Yeah.
or by a transformer
Mhm.
outside. But if you go up to this meter, it's like, I think somebody's cell phone when it calls, like Matt's phone when it rings, has like 10 times more than this meter is putting on.
So when that meter is transmitting, does that change the level?
It's, no.
So
No,
it's,
it
so it's
doesn't.
all the same?
Yeah, I believe so, and it,
Pretty consistent?
and it has a number that's like right next to it, and if you get 2 feet away, that number diminishes by, what, 20 times, 50 times or something. So
Hmm.
it's like really minimal
Yeah.
with this thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready to go with this. I mean, I think this has been the works and conversation
Yeah.
has been going on for, at least 3 years, 4 years, maybe even longer than that.
Yeah.
We've actually been serious about it. So I would make a motion that we accept the purchase orders to go out and buy this equipment.
Yep, I would second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion passes. So then we have the projects, and do you just want to quickly run through each of the three projects and just explain, what it is that's going to happen in those? We have maps to show that, and
Yeah. It's the first one, the Fourth Alley.
yep,
That's for Todd Miller's project, and the reason we're doing this is he built, our power lines are so close to the upper deck of one of his buildings,
Oh,
we have to get it underground. So we're gonna come down from a block up, go down, and then connect in right behind Harbor House, or Harbor Grill Restaurant.
That's
And
the
then-
yellow line on this.
And while we're doing it, we're gonna take away that primary that goes across the street to Noskers. That'll go underground too as part of this project.
so it's just, but you're adding in the yellow line.
The yellow will be the new underground, yeah, the
the
red
red is the old.
is
and
the existing primary.
Yep.
Yes.
And so you'll still have that red overhead south of Noskers? It shows it just stubbing across the street.
I think that's just wrong.
Okay, so that would be buried. That would be
engineer,
buried
this
all the
is-
way.
Yes,
Okay.
there'll be secondaries that are still on the pole there.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But that.
Right where the yellow stops is where our primary stops.
Okay, and then the rest is just service line.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the city at its last council meeting approved getting proposal from our city engineer about improvements to that alley between Fourth and Fifth Avenues.
Yeah.
In order to try to improve the drainage and see if it could make it a more functional alley. I mean, there's a lot of issues, with
Yeah.
traffic on that, and of course, with the Highway 61 project, it might drive more delivery service traffic to that alley, and right now, it's not set up very well. Certainly, the power lines are an issue.
Are you saying the alley that goes behind the pharmacy?
Yes.
Okay.
And this will integrate, it's possible that we're gonna try to get, if you see the red line to the far left, coming down, I think, between Fifth and Sixth Avenue.
Yep.
Mhm.
That dead ends there, but if we can come down and feed the back of the old forestry building there, I forget who owns that now.
North
North
House.
North House, yeah.
Mhm.
So then we could get rid of that pole that's right in the middle of the parking lot of the pharmacy,
Right.
I believe.
That would be helpful.
Phone and everybody jumps on board.
Well, there was conversation too about moving that fire hydrant that's right behind the alley,
Yeah,
adjacent to the alley, right behind the pharmacy.
yeah.
Because
I think that's right where the pole is too, isn't it? Are they
Yeah.
close together?
very close. You can see on the aerial photo, yeah, they're right together, and
Yeah.
it makes it a challenge to get into the pharmacy parking lot and out of the pharmacy parking lot, and it seems like that's going to be a busy location, and so the city's going to get this response from our engineer, within the next, I don't know, short time, and hopefully then we'll have a plan that we can present to the neighbors to talk about, what they might be willing to see happen back there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And this is just part of it. I mean, removing those overhead lines and getting those poles out of the way. I mean, alleys in the city are only, I think, 14 feet wide, so there's only so much room to work. And if you've got-
Right.
you have utility poles in that, it creates, a narrower
Right.
width, and there's
Well-
buildings built up right up to the property line on both sides of that alley too, so.
Well, I mean, I think it's great that you're thinking about doing whatever you can in that area to loosen it up, because it's such a nightmare trying to park there now,
Yeah.
That if it dovetails with some project we already have to do, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, and it's a relatively inexpensive fix for an area that does have some, you know, some issues, so.
Yeah.
All right, why don't you explain the one at the, one from law enforcement down to,
Yeah, and that's just because we have overhead three-phase there, and that's where we have a tie for our circuit. There's an open there to where we can feed downtown from the hospital circuit. It doesn't show that on here.
Mhm.
It's right by the school. But the main reason it's gonna come down is that walkway. It's 12 feet in from the curb, so. We have a crew coming in starting on Monday, hopefully. And the yellow is bores, so we had to get a Minnesota DOT permit to go across the highway. And the county says we don't need a permit, so.
okay? Then, the other project.
Are we now looking at the second to last
What am I
photo or the last photo?
Well,
Oh.
they're both part of that same project, aren't they? Or,
Yes. Okay, it's on the back page.
The page with purple and,
Yeah.
okay.
So that would be
Sisters?
the state bank
Okay.
going in front of the dentist office. And then it'll go up under those trees, and that's where our tie will be now, after this project is done. At the end of that red line over at, by Sister's Place, by that little gazebo they have there.
is that gonna take down the overhead and bury that?
Yes, because the
So
overhead
all
keeps
buried.
going right by the state bank, crosses the highway to the south side of the highway
Yep,
at Napa Auto Lodge, and that's where that big box culvert is going.
and so that's why it's looping around to Sisters.
Yes,
Cross before you get to that.
Yep, and the next page will be from Napa to connect to that Sister's tie.
So in all those trees that are on the dental office,
I believe they're coming down next year in the project. This, the guys that are coming up, he said, he figures he can bore under those trees.
yeah,
So for us right now, we won't have to do anything with them.
okay, so you won't take those down, but the highway project,
The
I had heard
highway-
too,
I
I
believe-
had heard too that the highway
Yeah,
project was gonna be.
but they can do whatever they want then.
Yeah.
We'll have our stuff 3-4 feet under the roots, and they
So go right under those trees, huh? Wow.
can, yeah, I guess, and, you know, those boring
Yeah.
rigs, they can go 8 feet if they have to, whatever you want.
Yeah, till it hits the rock.
Right, yes. And there, here again, you know, the estimate on the cost, this will be MediaCom, CenturyLink, and Arrowhead. Arrowhead actually has to do this. We don't have to do this. We could have it
Okay.
open without a chance of closing it in until next year if we wanted to. That was our plan. We were gonna hold off on this until they do their box culvert, and then have the wire ready and go over the top of the box culvert and tie in. So we would go the winter without having an option of that tie for feeding circuits, 2 different circuits.
So is part of this cost being shared with?
It sure as heck should be, but, yeah, I'm not sure, but, you know, Mike said it's gonna have to be.
Yeah, but this is the total cost and it might be shared by,
Yes,
With
this is
Arrowhead-
what we would pay
Arrowhead or
to just put
MediaCom.
You mean
our,
Arrowhead because of the broadband?
yeah, Arrowhead because of their broadband and, MediaCom
MediaCom.
and CenturyLink, they're all
Okay.
on these big poles.
Okay.
Everyone has to get down. We have a big meeting on Tuesday where MediaCom, CenturyLink, and Arrowhead are all gonna be there. So we're gonna hash this all out. I don't know about the cost sharing, but that's why I made this as all our costs.
so then on this last photo of the line going across to Napa from
That-
Sisters,
Yeah, that will be a bore across the highway.
okay, and that just takes it to the other side and then ties into the
Yes.
to the existing system that's there.
To the overhead by Napa.
Yeah.
It'll come
Yeah.
up a pole, and
Yeah.
that'll go down to the Border Patrol where we tie in with our underground. there. And here again, it'll be a shared cost with all three other utilities. The one on the Gunflint to the Border Patrol, that's just Arrowhead is on our pole.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll just be us and Arrowhead in the trench, but I would assume they would have to pay something.
Something.
I don't know.
All right, well, very good, thanks for that information.
Sounds good.
Um,
And this all starts next week?
Yes,
Okay.
Monday, and then once we get the underground in,
Mhm.
we'll have a, part of this cost was overhead crew.
Okay.
Cause we'll have to have a big outage to cut all these lines
Right.
on a Sunday or something.
Mhm.
For IGA, Napa, Subway, Sisters Place.
Mhm.
So they'll have to come and help us cut this all over. So I figured in, I think about 5 days for them to be here. And they don't charge for lodging, I guess.
So it doesn't say here that you're asking for any action by the PUC on this, is that right?
Yeah.
It's all basically been,
From my understanding, before Mike left, it was just, like it all had to be done because of the
Right.
relocation
Yep.
anyway, so.
yeah.
This is more of just upcoming things we're doing.
Yeah.
And then this will all be done in how long approximately?
I'm hoping by the end of October.
Okay,
Yeah,
so before we get any serious snow.
right. Yeah. Depends on when we can get our overhead crew, but the digging part,
Mhm.
gosh, I don't see why they shouldn't be wrapped up in a couple weeks with
Mhm.
all three
Well,
projects.
good, well, thanks, Jeff. Any other questions,
Thank you.
Ann, or?
Nope.
That's-
No?
Looks like good work. I mean, it's,
Mhm.
these are the kind of projects that, you know, when you keep ahead of the game, you know, you're not fighting, you know, things. We know that the Highway 61 project's coming up.
Yeah,
Trying to get
that's
this
a
stuff
big,
done and have it in place,
yeah.
ready to go, so, yeah.
Yeah, it all worked out really well with Arrowhead having to do their stuff, so now we will have our tie and
Mhm.
Good.
All right, thank you. Last item, commissioner reports. I don't know, Ann, if you have anything?
Don't have any report.
And I don't either, so
Mm-mm.
with that, Hayden, unless you have anything,
Not a commissioner.
well, no, you could have a report on something, you know, how your tomatoes, you know?
Really just growing up these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Well, let's call this meeting adjourned, 3:25.
All right.
Here we are. Thanks,
That was
Jeff.
quick.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you very
Good day.
much
Come
for
and visit
explaining all
us
that.
more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.